Let us read the poem line by line. After all, it's a rather short poem. And search. This is how the poem The Striders begins. Not just the Striders, not just the poem The Striders, but also the book The Striders. As I have been saying, the poem The Striders was the first poem in the first collection of poems of A.K. Ramanujan, which was also titled The Striders. So this is how the poem The Striders, the book The Striders, and also the entire career of Ramanujan as a poet begins. And search. Can there be a more abrupt beginning? It is doubtful whether any career as a poet has ever begun in such an abrupt manner with the word and. A.K. Ramanujan was very much influenced by the modernist movement, by T.S. Eliot, by Ezra Pound. And as I said, he was one of the leaders of the modernist revolution in Indian poetry in English. And it was the influence of modernism, the influence of T.S. Eliot, the influence of Ezra Pound, that has compelled Ramanujan to shun completely the poetic, the conventionally poetic. And here we have an abrupt beginning, a very prosaic beginning, and search. So the speaker is searching. What is he searching for? I think the speaker is searching for congenial company, searching for things, creatures with which he can relate himself, searching for creatures which will give him a sense of belonging. I've already explained that Ramanujan in real life was a person who almost always found himself out of place, whatever be the context in which he was positioned. He was completely out of place in India, where he started off. He experienced isolation, alienation in India, and he migrated to the United States. And I think that even in the United States, he was not completely at home. So what does he do? He searches for fellow beings, fellow creatures who will give him a sense of belonging, and search for certain thin stemmed bubble-eyed water bugs. Notice the curious way in which the second line ends. For certain thin hyphen. The poet could very well have placed the hyphenated word in the second line completely or have opened the third line with the hyphenated word. Instead, he has chosen to break the hyphenated word and position the first part of the hyphenated word in the second line and the second part of the hyphenated word in the third line. Thus, the second line of the poem concludes. I don't know whether I can say concludes because there is not much of a conclusion. Concludes with a hyphen. A hyphen is a sign which indicates that two words have been joined together in order to create what, for all practical purposes, is a single word. A hyphen is the symbol which indicates that the two hyphenated words operate in unison. But here, the poet has chosen to split the hyphenated word and end the second line with a hyphen. In real life, A.K. Ramanujan was very fond of hyphens, and he used to claim that he was the hyphen in the term Indian-American or in the term Indo-American. He was the bridge between India and America. The problem was he was neither wholly Indian nor wholly American. In fact, he was neither Indian nor American. He was only the hyphen in the term Indian American or the term Indo American. Thin stemmed, thin hyphen stemmed. Stem here does not mean the stalk of a plant, but the long, thin, supportive section of anything. I think here it refers to the legs of the strider. The strider has long legs which support its body, and the poet is certainly justified in referring to the insect as thin stemmed.